Howdy, folks. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Palworld with me, Big Cheesy. How's it going? So many of you have already grabbed this game. The game is breaking so many records on Steam, and that's because it is fantastic. All right, I've jumped onto it with a few friends, and we are all heavily addicted to the wonder drug that is pals. Regardless of how close their resemblance to Pokemon and everything like that is, the game itself is pretty freaking awesome. And I'm here to give you a beginner's guide on how to get started in the best way in Palworld, okay? This guide is going to be based on a very general player, okay? So you're all going to have your own ways of playing, your own things that you kind of focus on and everything like that. I'm doing this kind of very basic, like a bearing of like anyone can use these tips, okay? So it's not going to be too specialized or anything like that, but it's going to give you the best start in the game, or what I consider to be a better start in the game. And a lot of this we've kind of we've tested by, like, you know, 8 of us being on a server together and finding out different bits and pieces as we go along. But first things first, okay? You're making your character, you're designing your dude, okay? The first thing you're going to find is you're going to run around, you're going to get your levels up and stuff like that. Now, the first probably 5-ish levels, grab them all, okay? The only reason I haven't grabbed these two is because I can found some pals quite early on that helped me out with some bits and pieces. But at the very least, the first 4 levels, don't be stingy with technology points. You get them at every level. You get them when you find different fast travel points and books in the game as well. But don't be stingy. The first 4 levels, just grab them all, okay? You're going to want all those things. Shield is the only debatable one and kind of like aesthetic little bits and pieces here. But otherwise, grab them all, just be on the safe side. You're not going to regret that when you get started, okay? Like I said, I'm doing this generally, okay? And this is like if you're playing it on your own, you're playing it with other people, you want to support and building and stuff like that, you get your wooden structures, you get your chests, your campfires, basic weapons and all bits and pieces. It gets you on a good start. So don't be stingy is the first thing. Okay, second thing is, as much as there are wonderful creatures out in the world called pals who do tons of different things, whether it's fire or electricity or water or grass or whatever it happens to be, don't negate yourself, okay? Your pals are going to do a lot of work for you if you get them to the level where they need to be, but especially if you're playing it on your own, okay? I'm on a server with, like I said, 8 other people or 7 other people, and they're in a guild and I'm in a guild, okay? And there's a lot of work on stuff I managed to get done that I've done solo, because I've given my guy, you know, a lot of good stuff. I've made sure that he had the weapons and stuff like that to kind of do his job properly in hunting pals down. So don't negate yourself, okay? Grab the bow, grab the arrows, grab the fire arrows when you get to them, grab the crossbows and the stuff like that. Don't negate yourself by just focusing on getting your pals to whatever level they need to be. I've seen some guides and stuff like that saying, don't worry about leveling up this because the pals will do it. Don't worry about this because the pals will do it. They will do a whole lot for you, but it's balance, okay? You can balance it out between the pair of you. Now, number 2, 3 even, for those of you who are keeping track. As you level up, okay, you will get your technology points, but you'll also get stat points, okay? Now, I've seen a lot of guides that are telling you to only worry about HP, stamina, a little bit, and a little bit on weight. In fact, most of the guides I've seen have kind of just said, focus on HP and stamina. Now, there are things for this that they kind of said. Attack, they don't worry about it because they think your pal will do everything else and whatever else like that. Don't worry about your working speed because, again, your pal will do everything else like that. Working speed, basically, if you haven't got that yet, is when you are trying to craft stuff on either big assembly lines like this or on kind of little workbenches and stuff like that up here, whether you're crafting some armor, whether you're crafting balls to catch the pals in, whether you're crafting tools and stuff like that. Work speed affects how long it takes to do that. Now, yes, your pals will do a lot of that for you, okay? And there are pals, if you want to if you just want to go on a crafting binge or something like that, you can get pals that will work on that stuff for you, and you can leave them to build all that stuff, and they will take care of it. However, it doesn't hurt to put a few points into yourself as well. Like, mine's only up to about 550. I might put a little bit more on that, but I'll kind of think about it. And that's mostly because, like, the big things that take to craft, if you've got the patience for it, fantastic, stick with it. You'll only build some of these things once anyway, okay? A lot of things in the game, weapon-wise, they will break over time, but you just go down to your little repair station and it takes care of that stuff. So you don't have to repair it, like, multiple times. Some of the things that, you know, the things that you are going to craft a lot will be stuff like ammunition or the hyperspheres and stuff like that to catch the pals and stuff like that in, okay? I'm not completely not throwing the work speed out the window, but it is helpful, okay? And in the same vein, weight is helpful, okay? Now, when you're first getting started in the game, okay, you'll be adventuring around, and the map is the same for everybody, okay? And there'll be markers on the map that will be already open out for you to kind of jump into. I believe for like most games, it will let you select a kind of point on the map, and it will tell you bits and pieces about it, like this area down here and this area over here are generally kind of the better ones to start in because they have a high power population and high resource counts and stuff like that. Whereas up here, these ones are not so good for it, etc., etc. Okay. Now, if you can, I have found this to be kind of one of the better places to build your base. So there's a... Well, I'll just show you. It's easier. Okay, so you have your little starting point here and here. Okay, but if you kind of come down to about here, just near one of the Lunaris boss battle. Okay, underneath this base is a dungeon. Just here. Okay, now it's not open all the time. That's absolutely fine. But basically, there are different resources in the game. Okay, so you have your wood, you have your stone, you have your iron and stuff like that here. You have coal, you have crystal, you have sulfur, all these kind of like more high-end materials, right? Now, as you get into the game, you'll get onto more and more things, and you'll see the demand kind of grows for all this stuff later on. But building the base here gives me access to a few nodes of iron dotted around that I can run around to. It gives me access to wood, it gives me access to stone, okay? And it also gives me access to the dungeon where I can grab my Powdium, which is used to create all your spheres. It also gives me access to, like, if I want to go and do a run, I can grab a load of coal, or I can grab a load of sulfur and stuff like that, okay? When I'm at the stage where I can't build multiple bases, which you will get past, don't worry, this is a really handy thing to have, okay? So you just do a little run in there, you grab all your stuff, and you go back up to your base, and it's all nice and cozy, nice and easy, okay? It's really good stuff there, all right? So first few bits. Build your tools, okay? Grab every level for the first few, grab everything from the first 4 levels or so, okay? Do not negate yourself. Build your weapons, build your armor. Do not negate it, okay? If you can skip past the levels, absolutely go for it, okay? But the first, like, one of the really big ones, okay, and this is a tip, this is a proper tip. This is actual tip, okay? This is actual help. This, okay? Now, this is a chest. I know this is not so secret, not so special, whatever, but... if you have, you can build stations, basically. Okay, in the stations, he's a little bit bugging out. He's mining in the wrong place. That's absolutely fine. He is mining that, I think. It's just a bit buggy. It's in early access. We love it. We give it credit. We give it, you know, excuse in that part. But you can build certain stations. So this one is for wood. This one is for stone. Okay, and these little crafting material stuff like here will turn some stuff into other stuff for me as well. But basically, all your pals have certain skills and stuff. Okay, so they have planting, lumbering, mining, bits and pieces. Okay, now the higher level, whatever the level in those things a pal is, kind of dictate default wise what jobs they'll kind of crack onto. And at a certain point, your stations may get filled up too. So like right now, I have 10,000 wood in there. Getting there on that one too. But by putting a chest here, what I can do is I can take all that out. And as long as I keep relatively near this, so I can grab that from there, and like this. Take that, open this, and I can put the word straight in there. Okay? And that is nice and easy. Okay? It means I don't have to worry about being encumbered or anything else like that. And because of my computer's radius, okay, it means I can grab that wood from anywhere around the base. Alright, I don't have to be right next to it. I don't have to get the stuff out of that chest to do it. Okay, I can build wherever I bloody well want to. Because I say so. Because it's in there, because it's in that radius, I can build from wherever I want. I don't have to worry about anything. Makes it easy for transport pals to kind of do their job if I kind of feel inclined to do so. I don't normally, to be perfectly honest with you. There are a lot of people who kind of swap pals in and out quite a lot. And for me... I like having a rounded group of pals in here. So right now I've got some that do farming so that I can keep everything self-sufficient in terms of this. These guys will grow stuff for me and they'll kind of take care of the food that everyone eats during the day. I've got pals who will take care of the wood. I've got pals who will take care of the mining. I've got pals who are a little bit handy so they can kind of help me when I am crafting stuff. I've got pals who kind of do a bit of everything, okay? Now when you're getting started, don't worry, okay? Because you're not going to have such high-level pals. It won't take you long to get there, trust me. It's absolutely fine to kind of have a set one out for a while. But just, you know, kind of be smart with how you're building your base and stuff, okay? So first thing when you're building a base is have a section kind of ideaed off to put these 2 stations into and a chest that's going to go right next to them, okay? Next tip for building a base, have a section for yourself and have a section for the pals. Okay, so big pals especially don't do so well with any roofs. Okay, now pals need beds, and that's what they're all sleeping on out here. Okay, tons of beds. All right. Now, when pals go to sleep, they're all going to go to one area to sleep. Okay, and they're going to do their work and stuff like that. Little pals, not such a big deal. All right. However, the big pals may get clipped up onto the roof or get stuck on things. They're not the smartest. They're not the brightest sparks in the box. Okay, they try. They really do try. But sometimes they're a bit dumb. All right. But keeping the roofs out of the way of them, keeping like unnecessary walls and stuff like that out of their way, it really does help them to maneuver. Okay. So when you're kind of building, have a section. It worked out really well for me. Having a section for myself, having a section, and then everything else is for the pals. Okay, so they can kind of get around very nice and easy. So really good stuff for that. So we've got that. We've done everything. Like, yeah. Don't get too bogged down in building too many chests and stuff. Like, I've got kind of everything organized out. I've got ones for my basic resources. I've got ones for kind of items, ones for eggs, and stuff you'll find when you're kind of flying around. But having a chest out here just for resources, like, there's not a ton of resources that your pals can sort out for you. Okay, wood and stone are kind of the ones, and stuff like this one will kind of turn some of that stuff, that wood, into fiber. It will turn stone into palladium for you. But having like all kind of clustered around the same sort of area helps with the pathing of the pals. Okay, they're not, like I said, they're not bright, and sometimes they'll kind of put stuff away in chests that you don't want them to put it into. But as long as you kind of make that pathing nice and easy, you can kind of avoid a lot of that stuff. So that's kind of some bits of basic base setup. Okay, so you've got tool stuff for yourself, you've got basic base setup, so you can kind of get started on kind of getting adventure out and seeing the world of Palworld, right? There is one other thing though. Okay, while you are spending so much time at home, building your base and all this kind of jazz, and at first you'll be building your base with wood, okay, because stone takes a little bit of time to get up onto. But first, you'll be building a lovely base, and you'll be building it to your heart's content, and you'll be so happy with it. You really will, especially when you see all your lovely little pals running around and sleeping and eating and enjoying themselves. Now, one of the worst things that can happen, and happened to me when I was first getting started on the game, is you get a raid. Okay, now some of the raids aren't so bad. Maybe a group of humans coming to invade your base, or maybe just a really angry group of humans. Humans are fine. Humans are good. We like humans raiding our base because they're not asses. They're not dickheads. And what I mean by that is this clip. I swear to God, if you just run into my base and explode, I'll be pissed off. No. No. Ow. 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 No! What can I do? Do I just have to wait till that goes away? Don't go back into the fiery house! I swear to fudge nickels! Are you goddamn kidding me? What the fuck? What the actual hell? I hope you enjoyed that. My pain was real. Okay, I was so gutted with that. I spent about an hour building that base. Okay, now the thing I'm going to say next, it's not necessary. You don't have to follow this advice. Okay, I just find it. If I'd known how bad it would have been, I might have done this at the start as well. Wood catches fire. Like, no kidding, right? Wooden bases, if you get attacked by the birds, like they were in there, I think there's 2 other groups of pals who can set fire to bases and raids as well. They're a dick, okay? And that is all that work that's gone out the window. Now, fortunately, the game does not punish you too much if that happens, right? When things get destroyed, whether you need to move them or they get destroyed by another enemy, you get the resources just fall on the floor, which is really nice for that kind of side of things. It's like they knew. It's like they knew that the base would be invaded and everyone would be gutted by what would happen afterwards. It's like, it's just, they'd be gutted. And to be fair to the game, right, it's a really nice mechanic. Like, the fire that they kind of have in the game catches and like travels really well. Like, I hate it. I really hate it. But it does travel really well. And like, as you saw in the thing, my whole base went, you know, goodbye. I gotta fix him. Sorry, he's like, this is what can happen. This is why they're dumb. Sometimes they'll end up out the window, and you'll just have no idea how the hell they got there, and neither will they, frankly. But yeah, so sometimes you'll have a raid that will, you know, it'll take away all your hopes and dreams, and there is a way around that. Okay, so what you can do before you get onto a stone base is you can build your wooden bases, all right. But you can do it in a way that kind of segments it out, okay? So you can build like a block for like a 4 square or whatever, separately, like over here or something, just for your house. So you can build another block over here for like crafting bits and pieces if you wanted to. You can build another bit over here for if you want to kind of lay things out on top of each other or on top of the foundation because it's, you know, it's prettier or whatever. You can build a one for beds. Now that will then separate the birds out, so you're not going to lose everything. It also makes it easier from a rebuilding perspective, because what you will find when the base gets destroyed is that all those resources, like I said, will be on the floor. But until they're back in like the computer area of effect, and until they're kind of in a chest, they're not accessible in the same way. Like right now, I can access, oh, like, yeah, you can see. So wood, I can access 20,000 wood right now. If it's all lying on the floor, you can't do that. All right. So separating it out. If you're doing this on your own, if you're doing like kind of the whole game on your own or getting started out or whatever, it's a good idea until you get to stone to kind of separate out, because then you're not going to lose everything. You're not going to waste all that time rebuilding. And in that time of rebuilding, you might get raided again. Like this base as well. This is a new game. This is a game I'm on a server with other people. And when I was in a wooden base here, my base got destroyed again. And while I was rebuilding up to a stone base, I got raided like 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It was just one after another. It was crazy. And sometimes you'll find that. Sometimes it'll be not so many raids. Sometimes it'll be crazy raids. And depending on how you're playing your server, you might have turned raids off. In which case, good for you. But if you're playing like the base game or anything like that, and you're on your own, or you know, maybe there's 1 or 2 of you or whatever, sometimes it's a good idea to kind of like, you know, separate out things in this that that you're okay to lose. Okay, and then once you get onto stone, then absolutely rebuild the mother. Okay, build a better base that you're happy with. I'm gonna do something kind of crazy and whatever with this, but that's for later on. All right, and now that's raiding. That's yourself. That's the chest that help you out with stockpiling resources and stuff like that. That's all that kind of stuff. Now the only other thing, all right, and this is kind of for later on as you get going, is you're gonna end up with a few bases. Okay, so as you build new stuff, you can then upgrade your base facilities. Okay, so it lets you upgrade to different levels. Now, every 5 levels, you get access to another base. So I think it's at level 10 and level 15, you get access to max number of bases increases, right? Now, what that allows you to do, okay, in my case, it allowed me to put a base here, which in this case meant I had a metric ton of iron to grab, which is really helpful and really handy. Okay, I need to help these guys because they are all dying. I haven't taken care of these guys. I basically came on to do this video after work, and I need to take care of these guys. But I can mine this stuff, and they'll chuck it in there when they're not dying. And similarly, I have a base up here, which I use for coal. So I can fast travel to this one. And then what I will do, this is a good tip to kind of do for you, is if you're going to have these bases, it's good to use them for transporters, okay? Not so much what I've done with this one, which is a mixture of transporters and miners, because the miners aren't great, in all honesty. They're not that smart. But what I will do is I will go to both bases, I will go to them, I will mine up everything, and I will drop it on the floor, because the transporters will then help me chuck everything into the thing, into the chest that I've got next to my computer. And what I'll then do is I'll then grab it, because you can still fast travel via computer, even when you are encumbered. Fast travel back to my main base, which is kind of like my hub for everything. And I can then chuck that stuff in here. And whether I do that by either using a grappling hook to jump straight to this corner, for example, or I just like drop stuff, move a bit, drop stuff, move a bit, and drop stuff. But it's not a far distance between those 2 points. But the point is, once it's back in, again, I can use that wherever I am on my base. Okay, whether it's crafting materials up here to craft bullets, whether I'm crafting stuff over there on the assembly lines to craft more spheres, to catch more pals, whatever it is, it makes it dead easy. So level up yourself, level 4, grab everything, okay? Making sure that you are equipping yourself as well as you are equipping your pals, okay? Use the best pals for the best jobs, okay? So as you, we kind of touched on, all your pals have certain skills, okay? And make sure you know, whatever you're trying to do, okay? Whether you want to have a base that is, you know, very well defended or something like that. There's I think there's one that's a kind of more fight. I think there's one that's a fighty one. Maybe not. Maybe not. Sorry. There's like certain passive abilities and stuff like that the pals have. That's, you know, like mine former increases mining by 25%. I think there's one that's a good defender. But make sure you put the right pals in the right places. For me, kind of diversified across everything. But you may choose to kind of, you know, go heavy on wood, or you're heavy on your miners and stuff like that. But it works out well when you kind of spread it across the thing. Like Palworld is a really great game. It's a fantastic game. There's a lot to love about it, and there's a lot of different bits and pieces to kind of master. But for me, for my money, it works out. It handles the best when you kind of go with a good balance across things, and that's both for the pals and that's for yourself as well. So balancing across your stats. So get your pals geared up. Use them when you want to. Okay, don't completely rely on them. Make sure you give yourself the tools to kind of succeed as well. Base wise, no roofs. Spread it out, plan it out a little bit. Put the chests next to your resource drop points so that they kind of spread things out nicely. And then when you get the chance to diversify your base, okay, have a base for iron, have a base for coal. If you get the chance to have a base for crystal and sulfur and stuff like that too, then fantastic, because that's all of your resources done then, okay? Easy ways to really get ahead in Palworld. And then you can beat all your friends too. Just saying, because, you know, I'm the same level as they am. Just saying. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. I hope that's helped you get started in Palworld. If you are loving the game and you fancy joining me, like I said, I do have a server for this, and I've been thinking about doing a kind of different game with a few of my friends. Like, we've all been really addicted to this game and playing it for hours on end. But I wanted to kind of put together like kind of like a survival of the fittest kind of thing. Like, we all start from like a middle point together, and you know, we just go. And we play for like, I don't know, we play for like 2 hours at a time or something, and we have that going for say 5 days a week or whatever, and then at the end of it we come together in the middle and just have a big old fight or something like that. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of doing a kind of big old game like that. But if you fancy that, if you like the idea and you want to kind of join in with it, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know if any of this has helped you, or if you've got any good tips for yourself. One other thing I would say, and this is not really a tip, this is to help with kind of the bugginess of the game. Sometimes when you are riding, you'll find that the game might get stuck on you holding the ball like that, okay? Now, if that happens, okay, don't be scared, okay? You don't always need to reset it, all right? So what I mean is, if I can... Did I get you out? Yeah, I did get you out. Did I get you out? This is more kind of bugginess of the game. So sometimes you'll be on here like this, okay, and he'll carry on holding the ball, and you won't be able to shoot or anything like that. He'll just keep holding the ball, and you'll throw and throw and throw and throw. Now, if it does that, you don't always need to reset the game. Sometimes it's a case of just press, hold an Q again, and cancelling it. We'll help you out with that, okay? That's not a tip. That's just, it saves you a lot of time and stuff like that. It's not always necessarily buggy. Sometimes the way some of the controls are set up are a little bit not quite working out for quality of life, but they are pretty good. The game's still early access, still got things to tinker on, but it's really fantastic so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope that's helped you. Please leave a like, chuck some cheddar on that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and continue to share the channel far and wide. I'm going back with some more videos for Palworld. Of course I am. I've got a whole series, hopefully, that I'm going to do on it. Start a new world and do completely whatever, vanilla, I guess, for the game. I'm wondering when there'll be mods and stuff that come out for this, because I feel like it's ripe for that kind of thing. But anyway, I'm getting away from myself. Have a great day, have a great night, whatever time zone you're in, stay happy, stay positive, stay cheesy. Lots of love, folks, and see you again very soon. Bye-bye.